the show?
Well, I think we decided on a new name, which I have conveniently forgotten. Cosmic Calendar Craft. That was it. Welcome, everyone, to episode 1 of Cosmic Calendar Craft. The official episode 1.
And in Cosmic Calendar Craft, our aim is we're going to build a calendar, a new calendar, and we're going to put it in an app. So there'll be coding, but maybe more interesting is the creation of this calendar and all the thought that goes behind such a thing.
Yes. So we should clarify first. So the calendar does already exist. What we're doing is hopefully by New Year's Eve of the Fairy Dog calendar, you, dear viewer, will have a downloadable app where you can, on your phone, see where you are every day in line with the Fairy Dog calendar count. It's very exciting. Maybe we'll move on to other calendars later on at some point. We'll see. But for now, we are sticking with this. I don't know. Should we talk about the origins of the Fairy Dog calendar?
Yeah, what is the Fairy Dog calendar then?
Okay, so I took some notes for today.
Yeah.
I thought, well, let's do a proper show about Cosmic Calendar Craft. I suppose also we might call Cosmic Calendar Craft is another way of saying chronoforming.
Chronoforming.
This is an exercise in chronoforming studies. So I found an article by one Professor Pantarai from the Journal of Chronoforming Studies.
That's a real topic.
Might be.
In a real university.
Miskatonic University.
Okay, good.
Specifically. So Professor Pantarai makes an appearance in this what's the word I'm looking for? In this thing.
What, the almanac? I've got the almanac open at the moment.
Yeah, so I will talk people. So for the record, that's the almanac for the viewer. This was the first year we produced the Fairy Dog Annual, which links are available to the PDF copy of that. You can also access a PDF of the almanac was for year 2. Year 3 ended in Gregorian time, ended August 19th last year. So we produced this for year 3, which I've yet to put online. I need to scan it so we can do proper PDFs. The Fairy Dog Zine. And then this app is the big project for the end of year 4, basically, which is a leap year, but I suppose we should get to the ins and outs of that another time. But let me come out of this. Let's look at this article. This is the abstract from the article by Professor Pantarai of Miskatonic University. It's titled Calendars Against Control, Time Sorcery and Calendar Magic, the Fairy Dog Calendar as a Chronoforming Case Study. So they've nicely introduced it for us. So I'll just give you the abstract, Tom.
Yeah.
It says, this article offers a case study of the Fairy Dog calendar as an exercise in chronoforming. Understanding chronoforming as at once an artistic, magical, and political praxis, this article first outlines its theoretical perspective, drawing specifically from the works of the late cultural theorist Mark Fisher. The article then moves on to consider Deleuze's description of control society and elaborates on how the term control functions as a bridge between critical theory and occulture by way of William Burroughs. The three are then brought together by way of a discussion of the Warwick University's infamous Cybernetic Cultures Research Institute group, and in particular, the ideas of hyperstition and time magic that emerged from that group. With that territory mapped, the article finishes by framing, or at least from one perspective, the Fairy Dog calendar as an exercise in hyperstitional engineering or fictioning within a tradition of time war tactics used against the temporal forces of control. This discussion is based on an ethnographic study undertaken by Professor Pantarai as part of his PhD thesis at Miskatonic University.
So wait a minute.
It's a good article.
There's a lot to unpack there. Fairy Dog calendar came from that.
So I think we'll start at the beginning, right? So I think one thing is like thinking about the history of calendars in general, right? So, and we should also say, by the way, as important to flag this up, so the designer of this calendar, Dr. Peter Duchemin, is not with us today. He's going to jump on a few episodes, I think, later down the line. So we should flag that. So I met Peter at the Trans States Conference at Northampton University, which is a regular conference. You can find them online, subscribe to their Patreon. And I've done a few, I've done presented a paper at every one of them. So I met Peter there. Peter designs esoteric calendars, so magical calendars, in effect. He is a magician and designs these characters, which I immediately glommed onto the idea, at least. You know, there was a lot that Peter was going on about, which took me a while to wrap my head around. Still wrapping my head around some of it. But the main idea that I took away from it initially was, yeah, of course, like the way that we think about time or experience time, I suppose, is overcoded, right, by the instruments that we are using. So in some ways, the Gregorian calendar, which we take for granted, is just, you know, a totally arbitrary way of overcoding time. Which I think that bit, at least, of this project of cosmic calendar craft or chronoforming, I think that's the bit I think that is easiest to glom onto, right? The idea, well, it doesn't have to be the Gregorian calendar necessarily, right? There's all kinds of ways that we could code time,
measure in time, that regard, as I would say,
or measure time. Well, measuring being a form of overcoding, I suppose that's the thing. The measurement. The map is not the territory. The menu does not taste like the meal. So, yeah, it is a measurement. We're not saying here, I don't think, that time itself doesn't have an objective reality. But the way that we experience time is through these, you know, through calendrics, right? That's how I found a good quote, right? I'll give you. Let me see if I can find the quote as a way of bringing this into idea. There's one from Peter that I've got, which I'll come back to. So here is a good example, right? I think this is a good example of what we're talking about. So after the French Revolution, they set up the French, attempted anyway, to set up the French Revolutionary Calendar, right? So this is, who is this? Zerubbabel, who I believe is a sociologist of time, this guy, right? So this is the article was called The French Republican Calendar, a Case Study in the Sociology of Time. So one way of looking at this, we get into all the magic and all the other bits, but one approach to this is that it's a purely sociological experiment in some ways, right? It's not purely, it's very, it's impure. But you can read it as a sociological experiment, right? How time is socially constructed. Our experience of time is socially. In the past, people experienced time as like circular, right? Every day was the same, nothing was going to change. And then the Enlightenment comes along, modernity, there's an idea of progress. Time becomes like it's going somewhere. So people experience time in different ways, even if time itself, in inverted commas, remains exactly the same, right? That's the idea. So the idea with the Gregorian calendar is, for Peter anyway, let's go for the quote from Peter, because I think this is might just make things more confusing. But we'll see. So Peter's PhD thesis was called where is it? Yeah, there we go. The Art of Hidden Causation: Magic as Deep Meditation. So this is what Peter calls neo-calendrics. So Professor Pantarai has summarized it that neo-calendrics builds a bridge between sociological theory and, this is to quote Peter, the chronological construction of both chronological construction of both magical and political calendrics. So Peter emphasizes what he calls the fundamentality of the chronological matrix, which is to say that calendars, here's Peter again, serve as a form of mediation which allows pure unbounded duration, time itself, right, to become captive to a clarifying set of temporal boundaries. So Peter writes, calendars are among the deepest of the cuts that thought makes into the world. They appear to me to be installed in the very threshold of social mediation, stabilizing the formation of societal and sub-societal identities over time. I think that's like relatively clear, right?
Yeah,
So the
very good. Yeah,
Gregorian.
can I try and understand it a bit? So
Mhm.
my physicist hat would say, there's time like it's a second. That's, a very there's nothing special about this second versus the second in a week's time, right? The second is a relative time measure. It's got a clear physical interpretation. It drives the laws of physics. That's so we have a measure of time which is, seconds or whatever. That's all very clear. But then when we talk about calendars, we're saying, Christmas is on the 25th. What is a season? And these are all, these have no meaning in the universe whatsoever. These are purely stuff with, like, society has converged towards, right? We celebrate once a year. The year thing is because we rotate around the sun. So it's very, the season thing is embodied, is because of our position in the planet, so that's very local to our solar
Yes,
system.
but
And then even beyond that, then we've got all this religious stuff over the top, which is just pure societal stuff. So yeah, so there's like time, there's time, that the physical quantity, but then there's the human experience of time, which is something very different.
yeah, because that's like purely symbolic, right? Humans live in a symbolic universe, and that binds us together in a sense of shared reality. Language is reality. Symbol systems are reality. We don't experience actual reality. Time, in that sense, is like just a fucking abstraction. So we have to overcode it. But I think what the sociologists of time, as far as I can gather, and Peter, I think the consensus is broadly that, how do you control a society, right? If you overcode time, so that, like you say, those religious holidays, you might go, well, they're less real, but to all intents and purposes, they're more real, right? When people, December 25th exists as a date, and for people that's Christmas. That's what that means. I'm not knocking Christmas, by the way. Christmas is amazing, but there's the Gregorian calendar was ineffective as a way for the Catholic Church to impose control over the world by getting everyone to it's habit, right? We're reproducing reality through the actions that we constantly perform. So by saying, thousands of years worth, or a couple of thousand years of going, this is what we do on this day, means that's how people experience the world. It's tied up with capitalism, right, as well, obviously, because time is money. That becomes a different way of experiencing time. Once you've got the Industrial Revolution, people are like living by the clock. They're not just looking at the sundial in the public park anymore. You need to know, right? When does the factory open? When does the factory close? So the Gregorian calendar becomes the worldwide calendar, in effect, because you need to make sure that everyone's on the same time scale so you can make more money. This is why Peter says the Gregorian calendar is, compares it to at least the Black Iron Prison identified by the science fiction author Philip K. Dick.
In
So
what way
Dick,
is it in prison? In what way has it enslaved us?
well, because we first of all, I suppose, to make that connection to capitalism and colonialism, it means that we're trapped in a version of time where time is money, right? There's a capitalist element to it. It also makes us think, I suppose for Christians, it's a kind of teleological time, right? It's going somewhere, the rapture. I think most, at least in lots of many Western countries, people are a bit more secular, but the young people are all fucking doomers, right? Our vision of the future, whereas our calendar leading us is apocalyptic. So another element is, okay, I guess for Peter, one element is, he maybe will correct this when he joins, but if you have other calendars available to you, then in some ways what we're saying, that allows you to enter into different timelines, different maps of reality. And I think probably we need that a bit.
Yeah, I think the connection here is, the calendar is symbolic. So if we write a new calendar, we can write a whole new set of symbols and enjoy a day a different way.
Yes, that's a nice, neater way of putting it. Yeah. So that was basically, yeah. So Peter, as I say, when I met Peter, he designs magical calendars. So he's got like the Mars count, the Venus count, and I uncharacteristically was moved to commission him to design a new calendar for me, based on, initially for me, for the world, based on the dog star Sirius and the Sirius star system. And so over the course of a year, Peter designed this calendar. So the system, I suppose what we're talking about is that designed a calendrical system for me. But then it got weird. We'll talk to Peter more about this when he comes on. But it turned out that there were lots more connections between Sirius and the things that I was interested in for the calendar, and Peter's own esoteric interests. It turned out there was a lot of intersection there, which was a weird sort of nice synchronicity if we're going to put our magician hats on. So it felt sort of very meaningful in that sense. And then, yeah.
Have we got magician hats on?
I think for the purposes of this show, we should engage in a kind of a multi-model agnosticism, and we can jump through various hats. So artist hat, magician hat, if indeed those are different things. Sociologist hat, physicist hat. So some of those might end up being in conflict with each other, but I think that's a healthy way of approaching it.
Beard.
Yes, we've both got the beards, especially. Yours is looking magnificent, by the way, as I said yesterday.
It's the longest it's ever been. I measured it at, some of the threads are 4 centimeters now. if that's not wizardly, I don't know what is. My specialist school of magic is computers. That's my wizard.
Well, exactly. So you will, because I am not capable of these skills. So Tom will be, in effect, coding the app, which is, I think, you definitely read that as a form of magic, right? You're using some strange, impenetrable symbols to bring a thing into reality, which then our viewers are going to carry around into the world on their phones.
Yeah, it's got a school, isn't it? It's like forming things. Is it illusion or conjuration, maybe?
Yeah.
And they used to call, in the olden days, when the internet was cool, they used to call coders wizards. They don't do it so much anymore. It's too mainstream.
No, although there's important, there's a sociological point here as well, which is there is a lot of crossover between the tech industry and the world of occulture, I suppose. Right, we've got a whole history, Silicon Valley, people dropping acids, going into flotation tanks. Church of Satan, which we visited when I came to see you in San Francisco. So there's a lot of crossover there.
It's counterculture, or it was. It's not anymore.
Or it was.
It was. Yeah, I'll give you
Once
a little
it was.
intro into the technology behind this series as well, to oppose the calendar magic. So this is all being coded on this website, Observable, which gives us a notebook environment. So we'll be able to code this live, and if you're very enthusiastic in joining along, I believe most of these things can, if you sign up for an account, you can watch us code it in real time. I've already sent it, but I'll send it again. But that's the link, and if you join that link, you can join. But we might create a new notebook. This was the one we did a couple of weeks ago, but this will be our canvas for designing the app. At the moment, it's very unstructured, and we can just put links in and screenshots and stuff. But also, as we get a bit more sophisticated, we'll start actually doing real coding and building, the prototypes of things within this notebook, and then we can share the product of each episode as an output of that episode. But we'll get more and more sophisticated as we go along. Actually, we should probably, this was what we did last week. Before we corrupt this one, I'm gonna fork it. So then when we fork it, we create a new copy. We have to set the URL for it. What do we want to call this one? Do we know what day it is? We'll just call it episode 1 for now. Episode 1. This is the official episode 1. Okay, and then I'll share that link, and that's the one we'll be using in this stream.
Strictly speaking, I can tell you what day it is. I think probably we should be doing that from the top.
What does that mean? Which top?
From the top of the show, when we introduce people to an episode, I think we should probably make it clear what day it is on the calendar.
Yes, I would very much like to know what today is.
It's very hard to escape the Gregorian. So we're not overthrowing the Gregorian, for the record. I think Peter's phrase, lovely phrase, is that we want to create a forest of time. Right, we're not setting up a binary opposition here. But it is interesting, because we live in that time. So if you go, we're doing a show on Twitch, but then you have to give the Gregorian time. But anyway, for the records, it is. Let me see. Have I got the right one?
Yeah, I didn't have the good foresight to copy in the dates that were useful. So we got these links actually. Let me just see if I can find it. I've got the Fairy Dog Almanac Year 2 link, the Fairy Dog Annual Year 1 link. Which one would be the one with all the stuff in? Do you
know? With all the stuff, which stuff?
The dates, like what today?
The almanac, yes. So that will be we're on year 4. So go down. There should be a year 4 link.
I've only got Almanac Year 2, but I don't. Oh, I've gone all the way. This is this one. How many days does this have?
Yeah, so that's so for the record, very quickly, it's the season of pads today, day 45, Ether Vita, Ether 14. That's probably very confusing for people because the trouble, this is a leap year as well.
So I need the other link for the leap.
You need the other one. So for those of you, everyone I guess who is unfamiliar with the calendar, usually the Fairy Dog has got a specific structure, or maybe come back to that later on. So if you've got the annual up.
I've got the annual now.
So we'll maybe explain the structure so we can talk for a kind of typical year.
Which one should I open? This has been mislabeled. Someone has marked this wrong. This is the annual. Oh, yeah, the annual. Yeah, okay. It was labeled correctly. Do we want the annual or the almanac? Or neither of
Maybe
give
I'm
us
trying to think
the,
that there's a
today's
good
date.
illustration of this in the annual. Might be a bit more exciting to look at.
Okay, yeah, should we just talk
There we
about
go.
something, a random topic in the annual then?
Yeah, so if you go to, well, it's scrolling down, I'm trying to think what page it would even be. I've not got the pages marked in my physical copy, but there's a page there that is a make your own fairy dog icosahedron. So if people go to you can download that PDF and print it off, and you too can make a kind of
Oh, here we go.
a hyper object.
I
There we go.
found
So
it.
these are both kind of description. So how a standard year on the calendar. There you go. Actually, if you go up to the page before,
I don't know how much of a page I can fit in. That's about
well, sorry, just the sort of top bit. Yeah. So there's a nice. Yeah. So here we go. There we go. We'll just read from the comment, right? So the fairy dog calendar, there you go, runs on a 365-day count. So we're still, if you like, we're still using a count. Well, everyone is familiar with. Only these that 365 days is split into 5 seasons based on the Chinese elements of earth, metal, water, wood, and fire. And then within that, each season is divided into 4 times of 18 days each. So I've said here, so imagine a triangle with each side equally 6 days, like this. There you go. So that gives you 72 days a season, right? 4 times 18 is 72. And then each season also begins with a kind of a 0 day or a festival day for you to celebrate however you see fit.
It didn't copy right. You know, we need these clarifying notes as we go. Right, structure of years. This is just a non-leap year or something?
Yeah, so this is a standard year. So if you go to the page after that, that's your, as I say, people can print out the fairy dog icosahedron, so they can, in effect, they can make that, they can hold the calendar in their hands if they do that. So if you scroll down to the next page.
Oh yeah. This one, the icons.
Yeah. So this is, yeah. So we're doing, it's maths, right? We're turning numbers into shapes, basically. So on a standard year, it's an icosahedron. So there you've got your 5 times, split into your 4 months, if you like, and then each week of 6 days each. So you can see at the top there in red. So we've got this is a season of creative fire in red at the top.
How do we know what order they go
in? Based on the color. So red is fire, green here is wood or forests, blue is waters naturally. There's a kind of silvery one which is metal, and then brown is earth.
Oh, there's some useful.
So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so like I say, so each season is based on one of the Chinese elements.
Colors denote elements. Red equals fire. What was it? Green equals, what's it? Nature, trees.
Green is wood, but we call it the season of regenerating forests.
Okay, wood, forest. And then we've got blue is water.
Yes. The
Silver is metal, and brown is what?
The brown is the preserving earth.
Earth.
Metal, by the way, is the season of fighting metals, and fire is creative fire.
Okay. Okay, that's the structure of a year, and the year is still 365 with
Yeah, so
adhering
all
to
of these.
Sol.
So yeah, so again, so you've got 5 seasons, right, broken into 4 times of 18 days each, running around the edges of the triangle there.
Yeah.
So this in creative fire, we've got time of the trumpet, time of the assembling, time of the inventory, and time of the launch, for example. So they've all got kind of, you know, they're coded with meaning as well in and of themselves. And then each day, because we've got 72 days, each day is kind of given a further meaning. So there's kind of like nested symbol systems within each other. One of the things about it, we very much encourage people to, you know, do some mathematical magic of your own. If there's other things that can be fitted into like these shapes and numbers, but the standard one for us. So we've got 72. There's 72 demons of the Goetia
Okay,
of
wait.
Solomon.
Pause. Right. Actually, this looks like something we could code up instead of having it as this picture. Well, let's
Mhm.
formalize this because
Okay.
we've got the coding environment here, so we can now actually do that, but like with calculations. And then if I can get your answers right, then I've checked it. I've checked that your sums work. So let's do some coding. So what we want to do, we've got the seasons. So we've got these things are the seasons, and they go in order of. Just for now, I'll shall I do it in colors, or I'll do it in elements? Yeah, fire, wood.
Yeah. Was no. You want to start with Earth, really. So the start of the year is Earth.
Yeah, do them in order. Earth, wood. What is it? Earth,
No, so it
silver.
should be Earth, metal. It's been a while since we've been. I'm well into the leap year. There we go. So even I am going to double check it because I've
So then
thrown myself
water.
off.
Did you draw these in the right order? Water, forest.
Yeah, so it should. Yeah, yeah, they are in the right order. Sorry. So it's
No, they're
Earth,
in.
metal, water. Not those ones. Got to the one before.
This one. But this hasn't got an order.
Well, as if you start at the top there and you go
Earth,
clockwise.
silver, water, forest,
Fire.
forest, fire, forest, fire. Right, so these are the seasons. Right, and then each season is split into what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 months?
Yep.
Do we call them months or?
Yeah, we can call them months.
Yeah, okay, so.
There you go. Well, yeah. So sorry. So no, let's go back. Sorry, 5 seasons. No, to call those times. I mean, it is a month in effect, but the language of the calendar calls them times.
What, the seasons or the seasons are called
The,
times?
the months within the seasons, yeah. So
Okay,
there,
so
on the
we've got
screen, we've got time of comparative
seasons is
masters,
straightforward,
so
and
on and
then
so forth.
times is there's for every season, right? So,
You put times / months if you want.
so for every season, we will go, and we haven't got good names for these yet. We'll have times. For now, I'll just call them 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And then in each time, there's what? Another how many days on this? It's
So each time is has got 18 days.
okay. So for each time, we'll have 18 days. What's a quick way of doing days? Days equals new array length 18. Let's see what happens if we return days. Return that. And return that. Then we'll get some mess. 5. And then there's 4. And then there's 18. Yes. And we can.
Oh, nice.
Should we give it? We'll give each day a number. Day goes to
Okay. So, I'm just thinking you might need to go back, because actually, strictly speaking, it's 73 days, isn't it? So that's counting you need a 0 day in there at the start, a festival day at the beginning.
So before each season, there's also a festival day.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what are the days? The days are numbered starting from 1. So
Yes. So they all follow from So you just need, like I say, so it's not. We measure the 72 if you like, but there is an extra day in there,
okay, so
which we take off and engage with I don't know, the meanings of the various elements of that season.
okay, so there's only one extra day for each season or for each time?
For each season.
Okay. So we've got 18
Oh yeah, so
days.
each time is still 18, yeah.
So if we just call this day. Oh, maybe clean this up another. Well, I'm not going to clean it up. Right, so if I look at this, we've got. Why is that not done it properly? Oh, yeah.
This is very exciting. I'm very happy for our viewers that we're genuinely delivering on our remit to also include coding.
Yes.
We were not lying.
Okay, so we've got time, and then how should we? This is like a different thing. So we'll return all the time stuff, but with an extra festival. What does that look like? So we've got, and we should call this seasons. We'll just simplify this actually. So we've got the different seasons. I wish they had names. Season, return. I'll put these in an array. And I will turn this into a object. Entry. Okay, so seasons, Earth, festival, 18 days, 4 sets of 18 days. Yeah?
Yes.
And then, so what does this sum up to? Maybe instead of doing this, we'll help us do the conversion to Gregorian here. So the fairy dog count Let's see if that worked. Map to here. So we've got Earth, FDC day 1.
Mm-hmm.
So we should probably fill that out. We should go season. Oh no, what's happened here? Season. Season Earth day 1. Yeah, okay. Time. Time. Oops. What did I call time? Sensibly, I called it time. So now we've got Earth. Season Earth, time 1, day 1. And then in section 2, yeah, that makes sense. And then we've got festival. Where was festival? Here, festival.
Just
festival of the season. Would make more sense. Festival of Earth on the first thingy. Let's also wrap this in an object. So this is fairy dog. Count or calendar?
Either or. I think Peter tends to prefer count. So maybe out of respect for its originator, we'll call it a count.
Oh, I didn't like that. Maybe that was a mistake. Icarus flew too close. Trying to be too clever. Oh no, I've lost it. Undo. I've put something in the wrong place. Okay, Festival of Earth, Festival of Metal, Season Earth, day 1, daytime. Yeah, and then in order to check it all calculates correctly, so we should have the Gregorian day.
So
it starts at 0, and every time we encounter 1, we'll put the FDC name, but also the Gregorian one as well, and we'll increment that. Should we start at 0 or 1? I guess we're in a non-computer folk. In computer science, we like counting and starting at 0. So this is wrong because we didn't count the festivals again, which is annoying. Festival season. I'll just do a quick hack there. Gregorian. So, day 1, Festival of Earth, right?
Yes.
Season of Earth in the first time, day 1 is Gregorian, day 2. And then when we get right to the end, so the fire, Season of Fire, the last day is 365. Yes.
Very nice.
Your math checks out. Your icosahedral dice is approved. Where did you put the special season day though? You didn't actually mark
that. How do you mean? Where did we put it?
There's no.
Oh yeah, so that's not. Yeah, you're quite right. That's not marked on the icosahedron. You need to take that for granted. That's your extra 5 that is missing from it. A mysterious, invisible 5.
Okay, cool. Maybe we'll build a converter later so we can quickly leap between these two things. We could do some more coding, or maybe we should push on to the... What do you want to do next?
Well, we should just say for those viewers watching at home, we should point out. So it starts on a normal year. August 20th is Fairy Dog Day 1, or our festival for the season of preserving Earth in a usual year, which makes New Year's Eve in Gregorian time is August 19th. So, like I said, so that's the plan for this show is to have an app ready for New Year's Eve. I don't know if we should do it in today's episode because it'll get a bit more complicated, but we are in a leap year, and that is a different system. So the calendar changes quite dramatically for a leap year. So one thing we didn't mention here. So like we said, because we've got 72 days for each season, we say so. Like we got the Chinese elements in terms of what the seasons are named after, and then we got 72 demons associated with each day, 72 angels associated with each day, and then tarot correspondences, astrological correspondences, planetary correspondences, so on and so forth. So you can map a lot onto the calendar here as long as it fits that kind of, we can break it down into 72 in that way. The leap year is a different magical system. So I think we should do an episode later down the line, maybe when Peter is on, about, because I don't necessarily like to call myself a magician. I prefer wearing an artist hat most of the time. So I find the idea of the phrase magical systems, I always find sort of slightly odd and confusing. So I think we should probably do an episode. The idea is that you can fit magical systems onto the calendar, but we should maybe do an episode where we talk about what does that mean to describe a magical system. But I suppose one aspect of that is that, here we've got the Goetian demons is a kind of broadly, well, I suppose it's not. I mean, it's Judaic originally, I suppose, but it's maybe that sort of system might be associated with kind of Western magic, I suppose. But here, obviously, we've got the Chinese elements. We've got an Eastern system. Similarly, in our leap year, the leap year is based on the Enochian system of Dr. John Dee. That's how the time is structured. But then that's got Tibetan symbolism modeled onto it as well. So yeah, we've got you can layer things onto the calendar, and then the idea is, unlike a Gregorian day, where basically what you're doing is going, am I in work today or not? That's what Gregorian time feels like. Or is it the holidays? Here we've got a kind of a way of experiencing time where there's all kinds of meanings attached to each day. So if you did have your magician hat on, or you were so inclined, you might go, okay, so today is is it this demon and this angel and this tarot correspondence? Maybe this is a good day for doing whatever. So
Mischief.
I do find the season of fire, I genuinely, seems to me, it falls really nicely. There's quite a sort of creative time. It is the season of creative fire. It's sunny, lots of stuff gets done. We've made these things. We're making an app. So there's an interesting
typical
experiment in living
warrior.
with the calendar. Yeah.
Is there any position on the weekends? Is there a 4-day working week? I'm latched onto the work thing now.
This is an exercise in time as art rather than time as money.
Is there a weekend?
There is no. I mean, is there a weekend? Generally speaking.
But it's the same thing, right? It's the same magic, right? That someone said we work 5 days and then rest for 2 days. It wasn't always like that, but that's the worst magic. That's the prison one.
That is the prison one.
My daughter asked me this all the time. Once I told her that they were trialing a 4-day work week, every Monday when she has to go to school, she's like, "Can we do 4 days this week?"
She is right. There's one of the things I would hope for this experiment in the long run is like if we breaking out of the Black Iron prison, I think would almost certainly involve things like universal basic income and the abolition of the 5-day week. 4 or 3 days would be excellent, or none.
Yeah, I think
Even.
maybe the periodic bit is the bigger problem, because I said to my daughter, right, if it was, it used to be 6 days and 1 day off, and then they changed that, but you're dissatisfied with that already, and now you want the next one, and then if you had the next one, a 4-day work week, you might be complaining that you want a 3-day working week, but maybe the problem is the periodicness of it.
Yes, or just broadly sort of, the nature of work. It wouldn't matter so much if you just sort of chose when you did your work. It's the being trapped in this kind of codified. This is when you work, and
But
you
is
don't
this
get
true,
to
right?
decide.
Because, certain Silicon Valley firms boast infinite vacation. So that's like having infinite weekends, but then everyone's really competitive and live in their own prison of their own making and never take holiday.
Which is the worst prison of all. Well, I suppose because even I don't know. I've always thought it's a weird thing. So even that sort of frames it in terms of like you can have your vacation if you want, but the implication there is the true reality is the prison, right? The vacation is the opposite of the prison. It's the same as I always find it weird when people get excited about their holiday from work, right? They're 2 weeks off, rather than annoyed about the 50 weeks of their life that has been stolen from them. So it's like a question of perspective. Which one are we taking for granted as like the default way of being in the world?
Was it stolen from them, or did they sell it?
Yeah, it depends how Marxist you want to get about it, I suppose. Obviously, the libertarian argument would be that they have freely sold their labour within an even marketplace. I tend to lean slightly left of that argument. I do not believe it is not a level playing field. So I'm going to go with stolen.
Okay.
Or in as much as there isn't a choice as such, is there? One is forced to work whether one wants to work or not.
Well, isn't that because we have to eat? Someone forced me to eat.
Well, we do have to eat, yeah, but I mean that's the thing, isn't it? You could create a world where just you just grow your own food, and we live under the conditions of capitalism. So it's not just about eating; it's about being forced to compete for bio-survival tickets, which are themselves an abstraction.
They are. They're an abstraction of altruism, interestingly, I believe. We live in an altruistic society where I do some random stuff and someone gives me shoes.
That's true. I'm still aiming for universal basic income.
Okay.
I think
I was thinking maybe it would be
these
useful.
are discussions for another day.
We can have whatever discussions. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we should try and codify this a bit further, because it would be good if we could actually, because you said there's a certain day that you have to start the counting of the season. So if we could get to the point where I could put in a Gregorian date and it popped out the correct fairy dog day, that would be quite a good base.
That's what we're after. Yeah, so that whatever day one of Gregorian should be August 20th, and then that will.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go for that. So there's a chooser where I can put in a date. So I don't know how to spell Gregorian day input. Alright, does this work if I click here? Yeah, okay, so we're saying it doesn't work for 24, yeah. Okay, so I can put 23 in. What would it work? What we've got a reference number
Well,
here.
no, we should probably just jump ahead. So it should be 20. Oh, no, sorry. No, it is 24 because we're going to start from August.
No, but I just want to. Okay, but I've got a table here, so I might as well just use this. If we get this working, we've got something working. If I can replicate this table.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So basically, what we want is, yeah, as long as whatever year,
What
as
is
long as
this?
we're starting
American style as well.
from
Okay.
August 20th.
Okay, so if we go to August the 20th, August the 20th. Right. Oh, I lost it. Let me just. What's August? 9? 2023. Is it? So with these notebook cells, this is like a spreadsheet. So we put that value.
No, sorry. It's the 8th, not 9th. That's September.
It's not quite working yet. 2008, 2023. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and so that should be season MA. What's that? Fairy Dog Calendar 4. What do these things mean? Can you see my screen? No.
No, I think mine is running a bit behind.
Okay, let me figure out how to do this. We've got our lookup table here, which is a bit dense at the moment. So let's convert this to lookup table is some computation on the seasons. So we go this is a. Tell you what, I'm going to simplify this and not put it into a thingy. Try that thing I failed at earlier. Make this an actual fairy dog calendar. Take the Gregorian out. So I'm just making this a bit easier to work with. Yeah, okay. And then we've got 18 objects there. Ideally, I wouldn't want this nesting. I'll make it easier if I have an array of 18 here. why is that an array? And then I've created another array here. Return days. Don't exactly know why we've ended up. Well, anyway, that's roughly what we want. We've got the Gregorian number and a converter there. So we're going to go through each one of these. Seasons. What if I do that again? That's right. That's the flat table. Flat seasons. Okay, so now we've got a number 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so each index of this is the Gregorian. So then we just got. So when's the first day of the fairy dog calendar? Is it measured like New Year's Eve or is it offset?
No, so it's made New Year's Day. So the first season of Preserving Earth, the Festival of Preserving Earth, is August 20th. So in effect, that's New Year's Day for the fairy dog. And then that would mean August 19th. The last day of the season of Creative Fire, day 72, that's New Year's Eve.
Okay, so what I need to do is figure out what day we are in the Gregorian
I'm going to put some links in the I can't do it.
I'm gonna get what is it? Get time. Get time gives me microseconds. Is it milliseconds? What does if I do a new day? Get time. Yeah, milliseconds since 1970. That's when the computer's calendar starts in 1970.
1970 or 17?
1970.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's
arbitrary.
0. It's interesting. Where are the zeros, right?
Yeah.
1970. That's when we got serious with computers enough.
What are the psychosocial consequences of that choice?
Exactly. I don't know. So if we take the milliseconds and divide by 1,000, we've got the seconds. And then if we divide that by 60, we've got the minutes. And if we divide that by 60, we've got the hours since 1970. And if we divide that by 24, we should have the days since 1970. So now we're working in days.
Will this mean that we can backdate the calendar in effect?
Yeah, exactly.
So, although I suppose 2020 is year 1, strictly speaking.
Yeah, days since 1970 equals that. Right, and then because we measure now we want to know the offset. We want to go in year periods, right? But we want to know. We don't want to know how many years since 1970. We want to know if we divide by the number of years, what is the remainder? What is the how far are we into the current year where we reset the year every rotation, right? So whereas before we were like dividing to go, you know, to change the granularity, we know we're in days since 1970, but now we need to realize that the next interesting thing is the years, which is 365 days, but we want to go in periods of 365. So instead of dividing, we now do a modulus. So this gives us the proportion of days into a year, which is, it says 244 here. Does that check out? That doesn't check out at all.
244 days into a year.
Yeah, I wonder if... Yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it? Have I screwed up the days? So we had milliseconds, seconds, hours, days. Days mod 365. I just wonder if... I wonder what... if I do a new date... Anyway, no, it doesn't really matter. We didn't. It doesn't really matter because we have to offset it by wherever you are in the fairy dog calendar. So days since 1970. Actually, I just wonder if they didn't start at a 0 or something. I'm kind of curious now. So what they call it epoch time.
Epoch time.
Yeah. Number of seconds since January the 1st, 1970. So it should be correct. What date are we in? We're only in April, so we shouldn't be that many days into a year, should we? So I must have screwed someone else.
No.
Can I just ask the internet? Days in epoch time. Probably that's well researched. Convert.
No, yeah.
Seconds since year, days. Oh, we should be getting the number of 700,000 days. Or is that between... Oh, that's since 0 BC, I think. Oh yeah, January the 1st AD, 0. Okay. Days since 1970, 0101. We should have the answer of 19,000. Okay.
Okay.
And we've got the answer of 90,589. And this 90,816. How the hell are we off by a little bit? Maybe JavaScript doesn't do it at 0. Seems weird that we're very close but not quite right.
Aha. Well, we got about 500 days.
Ah!
500 odd extra days.
No, we're off by 2. We're at 19,589, and the internet, so it should be 19,816. But anyway, I don't know what's going on there. It might be. This isn't really equal.
We got our leap years. Is that leap years?
No, because we're measuring days here, so it shouldn't be subject to leap year whims. But anyway, it's near enough. We're definitely measuring days correctly, I think, and there might be some other. I don't know what else it could be really, but anyway, days since 1970, near enough. Yep. And then we want to figure out. Now we need to index into these set of numbers. So, fairy dog day is the days since 1970 mod 365. So we'll take the remainder after dividing it. At the moment it says 410, and then we'll use that number to look up in our converter. So this would say, and it's kind of incorrect, so we're going to have to adjust it a little bit to get it to put the right number, but that's just like a linear offset now. So at the moment it says we're in season forest time 2 day 7, but that's not correct, right? Oh, for our
No, because we're in a leap year, but it's good that it's showing us.
That's not today's date, actually. That's the date we input here, which was the 20th of August 2023. But here we should be. Is this a leap year one?
This is a leap year one, yeah. So.
Oh, non-leap year conversion. This is the one I should be looking at. Let's move that up so it's a bit easier to work with. Okay, so okay, yeah, day 0, it says here, is Festival of Creation on, and we're in American, right? So the 8th of June, right? Does that sound right? 8th of June?
Well, no, so our Festival of Creation, that's the first day of the season of fire. So this is what have we got? 8th of, no. What are you on? 20th of August.
Do I have did I write that one down? 20th of...
Would be, so what did you say? If you pick a random...
Yeah, sorry, I've only got like the notes I extracted. I wasn't thinking insensibly when I grabbed these screenshots. But it doesn't matter, right? This is, we just need to calibrate to this. So so I'll put in this date. So what was it? The 8th of June. Where's my input gone? So if I go for the 8th of 06 2023.
06 08 2023 should give you the Festival of Creation, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what threw me. I was looking at the wrong thing. Yes, that is correct.
And now, what my converter at the moment, which is miscalibrated, says we're in season of water. So where are we? Are we too high or are we too low? I guess it doesn't matter. We can just add to it until we're correct. But so it should be season of fire, which is how many far down is that? Well, let's just add numbers to it until we've got it correct. So if I add 100 days to it, it now thinks I'm in forest. If I add 50 days to it, I'm still in forest. If I add 200 days to it, I'm in earth. 300 days to it, metal. 400 days, water again. I've gone way too far. If I add 10 days to it, 20. I tell you what, this is fun. We can do a inputs.range 0 to 365. View of offset equals that. We want it to step in ones. Okay, let's just plug that in. Right, so, oh, there we are. So now I can step through one day at a time and figure out where we're supposed to be. So season of fire, time 3, time 1. There it is. Festival of fire. The correct offset is 121. Value 121. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I should be able to put any date here and then down here we should get the correct FDC. So if we check one down the bottom is 605. So 605. 2023 season forest time 3 day 4. I think it's wrong actually. 5 6. It says wood here.
Yeah, season of woods. So it should be day 70. So it is. It will be day 16 of the time of that teaching children, but we've not put that in yet. So it should come up as day 16. It will be day 70 of the whole month.
I've got season of forest. Is forest wood? I thought wood was something different.
Yeah, no, so that's good.
And time 3, the third epoch.
Time 3, day 4. So I think that should actually be 0605. So it should be so it should be time 4, day 16. If you scroll down on that page, it should be near the bottom somewhere.
I can't scroll this page. It's a screenshot.
Oh, you can't. Yeah. So that's a different one to the one that I'm looking at. I'll try and put that to the screen. Won't be very clear though. There you go. No, we'll have to find another way of looking at that. But no, so that should be further down, basically. So it would be the 70th day of the season of the season of wood, but then it would be the 16th day of the 4th time of that season.
Okay, so we've got a mistake somewhere. Then we're not fitted to your time yet. Let's go through the Gregorian. So we were right when we were 0806. Festival of Fire. Okay. And then
No, go back. So that should be 0608 for Festival of Fire. I think maybe we get mixed up between the American and European date thing.
no, I'm not. No.
That's it.
No, in this table, the second one is the days because it goes up to 30. But this one is this is on my browser. This is the 8th of June. So that's correct, right? 8th.
Okay, yeah, that's correct.
So that's correct. And then
so if you go back to the start of the year, so 20th of August is correct, right? That's our festival of preserving Earth.
20th of August, 2023.
Yeah.
Festival of Earth.
Okay, so then that should run for 73 days. So let's have a look at the 11th of January.
2024.
Yeah.
11th of January. January 11th is Season of Metal, time 4, day 17.
Okay, yeah, so it's jumped forward a bit. So that should be our another festival day. So it's jumped forward.
Okay, so let's step back a bit. So 2023.
Oh no, sorry, go back. No, sorry, that was correct. Sorry, I confused myself there. That's my fault.
That's why we have to double check these things a lot. It's really hard.
No, well, yeah, it's because that's like the 1st of January, and then at the top in the American notation in the almanac's got the 1st of November.
Time's hard.
So they look. Time is hard. All right, let's try. We'll just try a random one then. What about? Let's try the 19th of February.
19th
2023.
of 2023 is Season of Water, Time 3, Day 1.
Season of Water is the Season of Water. It should, however, be time. Oh no, Time 3, Day 1. Yeah, so that's correct as well.
Okay, so I think we've done it. We've done it. This is correct. Yeah. So that doesn't extrapolate to 2024 because then we've got leap years. So that could be the next event.
Yes, so I think we'll come back to the leap years at a later date, but that's if it maps onto so it needs to map on from August 20th, 2024, going forward for 3 years. That's fine.
Yeah, okay, so let me just make this a bit nicer. So I can label this as enter a Gregorian date. And then we'll put this in big writing that FTD dot. Okay. Cool. So as we can now step through the time and see our season and time. We probably this is good stuff to do the basic driving of our system. We'll have to clean it up a bit, but yeah, essentially, yeah, this gets us quite far, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's very nice. Should we tie it up there for today's episode?
Yeah. So what we'll need next time is to do the leap year, and then we'll be able to tell the time, hopefully.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Well, thank you to our viewers. It appears that we got 5 viewers today. Is that right?
I only see 1 viewer, but maybe that's old.
Maybe I'm missing something. Wrong icon. I'm sure we will get many more catching up on the rerun.
Yeah, and I've incorrectly put it on the stream thing as in next week, but it's 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks is going to be.
Okay, is that the plan going forward?
Or do you want it every week?
I'm happy to do it every week. It's up to you.
I mean, if we do it every week, we'll get twice as far.
Yeah, well, let's do it every week.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it next week then. It's scheduled for next week. See you all next week.
See you all next week. Thank you, everyone.